It's the South Florida Morning Show with Jennifer Ross and Bill Adams on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Anderson.
That was awesome. Baseball did it. They did something smart.
They finally got smart. And
The Yankees lost. That's all I care about.
What did we talk about yesterday, though? The only way I was going to watch this baseball game, I wanted to watch the beginning. Why?
Sure.
I wanted to see the players come out of where? The cornfield.
They did.
And they did. Even better, Kevin Costner was there.
But
he's boring, though.
They should have had the old ghost players come out in the middle of the eighth. In the middle of a play. All of a sudden, oh my God, it's Shoeless Joe.
I wanted other people to come out during like the seventh inning stretch, but that didn't happen. But at least they came out at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was cool. But Kevin Costner, as much as I love him, he's pretty boring when, he got out. And he even had to say, it feels like heaven, how many times before the crowd finally reacted. I was like, okay.
This was, well, you know what? It's okay. It was good he was here.
There's probably just one question to answer. Is this heaven? I don't think I heard you. Is this heaven?
And then
yes, it is.
I'm thinking probably half the audience didn't know what he was talking about. Because how many people hadn't seen you think
God.
everybody there saw the movie?
Yeah, they were just listening to him. He's boring. I think that was the problem.
he is.
That's one of the most famous lines in all time.
Is this heaven?
You know what that sounded like at the end, though?
No,
Please clap.
He goes, yes, it is.
Oh, God.
That was good, though. It's great to talk about something cool with baseball. So now, what do you want to gamble? They have like 30 games there next year.
No, they're just going to do one, right? They will.
No, they'll ruin it because that's what baseball does. So they'll, I don't know.
No, does Kevin Costner come back every year? So they get now that they've had him there, they got to do something special every year. I don't know what happens when the entire movie crew dies, but then what happens, in 10 years from now? Well, I'm just saying. He had Kevin Costner come out. He's getting older. Not that he's not going to be around. He's great in Yellowstone, by the way.
2022 Field of Dreams game. They're all dead.
It is the Field of Dreams, no.
That's right.
But does he come out next year? Or did they bring out like James Earl Jones next year? They got to eclipse what they did this year.
I think the novelty of Costner is pretty much done. They did the obligatory, we got to have him say, is this heaven? It didn't go over that well. Now just bring out somebody else.
Okay.
They got, check mark. That box is checked off. Time for somebody else.
I was amazed at how tall the corn is.
Yeah.
It really, it's incredible. And that, do you think, is corn always that big? I guess so. I'm trying to think of all the corn mazes I was in. It was always pretty high.
I didn't realize it's not even the field though from the movie. It's a completely different stadium they built. I'm like, where's the house?
Where
are they?
The stands. It didn't look like they had a lot of people. There were a lot of stands, but what did they have? Like 8,000 people?
Yeah, it was small. It's like basically a minor league baseball park, is what it is.
It's pretty cool though.
Oh, it's very cool. I love it. Baseball needed something, and they got it with that. Hopefully,
good for them.
A lot of people are talking about it, so hopefully a lot of people watched. I think they did.
Well, good. I watched just the beginning just to see what would happen. And I turned it on right as Kevin Costner was walking through the cornfield, and I went, he's there.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, good.
Please clap.
It's the only reason I was there. I was like, I'll watch it just for this.
It was cool. It was good stuff. I'd rather talk about that than Afghanistan or vaccines. Maybe we'll just talk about baseball for 4 straight hours. How's that sound?
How about football?
Yeah, the preseason games were on last night, 2 of them. Boy, was that, even preseason, which is like, 3/4 full, these stadiums in Philly and in Foxborough. What a difference in a product you're trying to show on television. Mm-hmm. It makes all the difference in the world. It felt like real football, even though it was the preseason. What a difference. Oh, my God.
Were they both sold out? I would assume the Patriots were sold out. I didn't watch the game.
It's preseason game, so it's people who were there who were usually never there. People give away their tickets. It was 80% full. It was fine.
Still,
but even the players were saying, oh, my God. There's a lot of players saying last year didn't even count.
Really?
I don't think the Bucks want to hear that. But.
Without a crowd, it's got to be weird for the players. You think
Oh,
about it.
God.
They use the crowd to their advantage or it's to their disadvantage, depending on what where they're playing. So
It's totally true.
how
And
many-
it's so funny with the announcers now. They're all saying now they feel like it's safe. They said, "Yeah, last year was tough."
Really?
Oh, they're all saying it now. All the national correspondents, everybody.
Wow.
So that's cool. And we got looks like a rainy weekend for us, where we're not going to get the brunt of whatever this Fred thing's going to be.
I don't even think it's going to rain at my house near the border. Jeez, they're saying minimal chance of rain. So I guess the further south you go, the worse it's going to be. But they're saying in some areas in South Florida, especially like near the Keys and maybe southern Miami-Dade, you could see 6 inches of rain before the end of the weekend.
Ooh,
That's a lot of water.
it's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water, and especially anything in life. Anybody along the West Coast, they're going to get a lot of water too.
Well, as long as that thing goes away, that's all we care about, right? Who cares? It's still the weekend we can talk about.
Yay!
We got that. Some more headlines coming up next. And a big win for Britney, maybe a bigger win for Kelly Clarkson. Look at us talking about celebrities.
I'm so excited for her.
We're breaking pattern. We're talking about celebrity people.
No, you are.
I know. Well, I'll always talk about Britney. But anyway, it's coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. This is Jen. I'm Bill. Keep it here. 100% chance of news coming up at 6:30. I'm very confident about this. It's coming. Karen's writing it right now.
I am.
You ready?
Well, we're sending troops back into Afghanistan.
What?
Is that Trump's fault too? Just out of curiosity.
Along with Canada and Great Britain. It's to protect the embassy staff fleeing. So U.S. officials refused to call the deployment a combat mission or an official evacuation.
So what the hell are they calling it?
I don't know. So
What a disaster.
Taliban forces have established control over 2/3 of the country, and they're
Okay.
within 80 miles of the capital of Kabul. And they're asking the terror group to not attack the embassy in Kabul if they overtake the city too. Please don't. Please don't. It's very scary.
20-year investment of how many millions and maybe billions, maybe?
Wow.
Training supposedly the Afghan troops, and what was all this for?
Yeah, Mike
Why did we
train
lose
to-
American lives?
Trained very well.
Mike Pompeo was on last night, and he's like, "Look, we had a plan. President Trump said, you touch one of our Americans, you will hear from us." And apparently, all that went out the window. And I think Pompeo's going to run for president.
He's been still
didn't know.
very vocal ever
Yeah.
since the end of the administration there. But yeah, I don't know, some kind of role. I could see him as Secretary of State again soon.
Yeah. Well, that more coming up.
Wow. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate it. 6:30, that's going to be happening in News Talk 850 WFTL. It's the South Florida Morning Show. There's Jen, there's Diener, I'm Bill. And I don't know, man. You look at every single angle, every category, in 6 months, the damage that's been done.
Well,
And I hate to say that, but it's true.
It's true. Well, yesterday, did you hear Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. President, you want to solve your energy crisis with how much gas we have and oil. Get the hell out of the way. Texas can take care of it. Just get out of the way. Don't go beg to OPEC. Oh, please open up the valves. Who does this? We look like a bunch of fools.
We do.
It's like, stop it.
And like you said yesterday, is OPEC going to go, let us help you? No.
No, they don't care. They're going to probably jack up the price. And now that they've taken over, they say they've taken over Kandahar, which is the second largest city in Afghanistan. 2/3 of the country's already gone to the Taliban. But we're going to call up the Taliban and say, please don't hurt anybody in any of the embassies in Kabul, because our troops are going to come in to save these people. We're going to move them out. So don't hurt anybody. Yeah, you think a terrorist are going to listen to you? What is wrong with this administration? Why do they not refer to the Taliban as a group of terrorists?
Well, let's go to yesterday. Do you remember Jen Psaki in the press room? Well, the Taliban's going to have to figure out their role in the world stage.
They've already figured it out.
Don't give them a role. They did figure it out. They chose terrorism.
Yeah,
Don't
hello.
give them a role. What is wrong with this supposed leadership?
I don't
What's
get it.
happening here? It's like a vacuum. All they do is damage.
Yeah, you're right. And then yesterday, on top of that, it was like a three for yesterday. You got Mayorkas there at the border. Oh, this is Trump's fault. It is? This is Trump. How is this Trump? I'm thinking, boy, you're 8 months into your presidency here, or your administration, and you're still blaming the guy before you when you got 250,000 people storming the border each and every day? Yeah, that's Trump's fault.
I got to tell you, though, I didn't even know if far liberal lefties even believe that. I think that's like fallacy. I don't even know if they believe that. They'll never say it out loud, but they know that's not true.
It's how can you? I don't know. And the only way this administration's going to win is by giving you money, because today the child tax credits hit. So,
Which, by the way, I still don't understand completely. They're very confusing.
I think it was for the COVID situation, was it not?
No, I
Part of
know that,
Robert?
but
Yeah,
I mean, as far as the payments go and how
Oh.
long,
I think it's till the end of the year,
very confusing.
unless they, of course, extend it, which they might with that $3.5 trillion, human infrastructure package.
That's the idea, is to keep people dependent. But try to find a workforce these days. Nice work. Yeah, sure. Good luck. Anyway, this also happened yesterday. You ready for the third shot? Maybe not everybody, but it got approved.
That's what it's going to take to end this pandemic. More vaccinations, more Americans doing their part and rolling up their sleeve.
That is the White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator, Jeffrey Zients.
Hey, you notice Fauci isn't coming out by himself anymore?
Right.
That
Good
the
point.
administration's been throwing out people like this, and I don't know, Walensky made a big, goof yesterday, so they probably won't let her out anymore. That woman's scary, and she's running the CDC. That's even scarier. Fauci, by the way, says the only way we're going to beat COVID, universal vaccinations.
Yep.
So he said it
That's what
yesterday.
he says.
Yeah.
And you're right. That's a good point. They don't send him out on his own as a lone wolf anymore, unless it's like the Sunday talk shows.
Right.
They do. They kind of try to lessen they try to douse him down a little bit.
That's because I think more people dislike him than like him now.
But he still makes an appearance.
Yeah.
The immune-compromised people never had an adequate response to begin with.
Yeah. So third shot approved. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
For now.
For now. And then it's going to eventually, they say, probably by October, everyone will be asked to get one.
You know who's been very vocal? The former director of the CDC, Redfield. Do you hear what he said yesterday? I was forced out because I knew right away that this leaked from a lab. This is what he's saying. And he's saying directly that was the reason why he does not have that job anymore.
Holy cow.
So you tell me who the influence is coming from. Who would have a vested interest in making sure that the world didn't know that this leaked from a Chinese lab? China.
Yeah.
So doesn't it make you ask the question, how much influence does China have over our health agencies?
Well,
That's the problem.
Apparently a great deal, since nobody will even admit to the fact that this could have come out of that Wuhan virology lab. It's absurd.
I think the amount of influence they have because of funding is insane. And at the end of the day, whenever that is, when we find out what that is, it's going to be really scary.
They just, they'll never admit to it, though.
No, they won't.
Unfortunately.
We got big wins. Big
Yeah.
wins for people we actually care about. It's our Britney alert.
Yeah. Baby.
Free? Is Britney free? Is this what this means? You guys know the celebrity stuff. I don't.
She is free from her father, at least according to all reports. Jamie Spears filled out the paperwork yesterday to step down as her conservator without any legal grounds. It was his comment was, it's not good for Britney if we play this out in the public eye, basically.
Yeah.
I get a feeling they found out dirt on him, and he knows it's going to hit, so he just dropped out before more damaging stuff came out about him.
I love the theories on a Friday. Somebody got to him. What's our term for the week? They kneecapped him.
They kneecapped him. Dieter, hi, how are you?
Hey.
Why, do you not agree with me?
Oh no, I was happy to see this last night. It's weird though because she's not like officially on her own. There's still a lot of different.
Still some strings?
Yeah, there's like semantics
All
they need
right.
to go through, but it's a huge step into basically letting her live her own life.
I would think so.
Yeah.
If he's out of the way. You know when everything changed? When she got that iPad.
Yes,
That was it.
Got her first iPad, all of a sudden court wins.
It
Yeah,
changed
it's so
her
true.
life.
And then yesterday she posted an Instagram thing where she had on a crop top and she opened it up and everyone thought she was going to go woo and she goes gotcha and because she had clothes on.
Wow. Whoa.
I still think we're going back to partially naked Britney very soon here. Remember, that was the thing that got her in trouble in the first place.
I don't know.
Well, and the shaved head.
Well, it could
yeah.
be, and then her father's going to come back and say, "See, this is why I was her conservator."
Doesn't
think
matter
she's
now.
right.
See, you guys are excited about that. I was excited, on the other hand, for Kelly Clarkson.
Who?
What is happening with her? I was waiting for it.
What do you mean what's happened with Kelly Clarkson? She's going through this horrific divorce with this Brandon Blackstock guy that she's been married to for a while. Anyway, she had a prenup, but just 2 days ago, she lost everything.
Oh.
He got the $80 million ranch. She had to pay him $150,000 a month
guy-
in support.
Sounds like a total grifter.
I'm like,
loser.
wow. Now, his father, and I think it's a Brandon Blackstock Sr., he's like a big agent for like a lot of the country stars, including Blake Shelton. And the reason I bring that up is while they were on The Voice last night, Kelly Clarkson gets a text from her attorney. Prenup just stood up in court. You own it all.
Really?
Wow. So she owns the ranch that they gave the ex-husband like last week. She owns everything. So,
Does that mean we're going to see a video of her reaction when she found out she won?
Yes, she went, whoo, like on the set. I mean, she
Is
was
that
like
right?
all excited. She was
Holy
like,
cow.
Whoa, come on. She just got her life back.
Yeah.
150 G's a month you got to pay an ex-husband?
They will definitely release that
Holy
video.
cow.
Yeah, they should. They should put it like, on the Voice Instagram
I think
page
they will.
or something. Yeah.
The world will see that pretty soon.
That's really good.
Now, Brandon
her.
Blackstock is, as I said, he's a manager. Blake Shelton fired him.
Oh.
Boom. See you later.
All right.
So,
Sounds like a grifter. Good.
Yeah, get him out
I
of
need
here.
to know. Get rid of him. Loser.
so she owns the ranch now that he lives in that she can sell. Sell it today, Kelly. Get rid of it.
Big wins. Kelly Clarkson, Britney Spears. How about that?
Free Kelly. The lawsuit that challenging the governor's anti-mask mandate law goes
Yes.
before a judge today. Here come the judge.
Uh-oh.
We'll talk about that. Maybe a little more Field of Dreams. Lots of stuff. And Fred, what's that going to mean to us? News Talk 850 WFTL, the South Florida Morning Show. There's Jen, there's Diener. I'm Bill. We just heard from Katia right there. Looks like a rainy weekend. I don't know if this is the story in the rest of the county, the rest of Palm Beach County, but some squally weather's hit the northern part outside of our window.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And these are, I would assume this is the outer bands of, wow, how big is this storm? It's even a depression, tropical depression, Fred, which is near Cuba. I mean,
Very
it's making
blobby.
away. They said later today,
Yeah.
and then tonight, mainly tomorrow's when we're going to feel the big effects of it. So it'll be gusty and wet.
That's about it. Still a weekend. We're not going to get the brunt of it.
No.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, if you got somebody on the West Coast, they say it's going to hit the Panhandle again. Poor Panhandle.
They've gotten a lot of them recently, and,
Yeah,
and there
in
is
the
a
last
chance that
couple
this
of
could
years.
gain a lot of strength in the Gulf. So,
It's not good.
yeah.
Not good.
Oh, I don't know. All right, we've got the judge deciding a big case today. That lawsuit that's hoping to overturn the governor's executive order that bans mask mandates in the state. It's going to go before a judge today in Tallahassee.
Well, you had all those doctors write letters to the governor yesterday saying you need to change your stance. You need to put mask mandates back in effect, at least in schools, and blah blah blah. So it should be interesting to see what happens.
But the argument it's based on this apparently, according to the write-up. The argument says the mandate goes against the state constitution. It calls for safe and secure public schools. Well, I don't think anything in the executive order goes against a safe, secure public school.
No, but at the same token, look at what happens in schools now and what happened, unfortunately, in Parkland. How did that not fall under this, being safe and secure? It wasn't anything safe and secure about that school, and nothing's happened in the long run. So, I mean, how do you know what this judge is going to do? You're trying to say because you're not putting a mask on a kid and parent has the right to say you don't have to wear it, that puts everybody else in a bad position? I don't know. They say they already had. You see this superintendent, the interim one at Palm Beach County. He's already been on national television. He was all over the place yesterday. So they didn't waste any time talking to him. And he's talking about how many kids had tested positive for COVID. And they got like 400 kids overall in the county now in lockdown and quarantine. St. Lucie County, they said they had 604 students. Most of those, they said, were prior, though, before school started. So, but they say it's because of school. And I'm like, it had nothing to do with the school. They were sick already.
Yeah, exactly. School just started.
And they had
They didn't get it
symptoms.
that day and get quarantined that day.
Yeah, and they had no symptoms. Martin County had 3 cases.
It doesn't surprise me, by the way, that the superintendent, the interim, brand spanking new, freshly unwrapped superintendent here, is going to get national attention. The whole world is watching South Florida on this. They really are. Number one,
true.
because we started a little early. Probably some of the earliest start times in the country, really, for South Florida. But also because it's Palm Beach County and because it's just an interesting mix you got going on here. So they want to see this judge's decision in Tallahassee. A lot is riding on this.
It should be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, because Palm Beach County, I think, was the first that said if you write a letter, your kid could be exempt. So I think that's probably why the interim Palm Beach County superintendent is all over the place. on top of everything else.
Yeah.
When did the rest of the school start? Is it like it used to be when we were kids, like after Labor Day?
Yeah, for the northern states, and I think out west, I believe. So this is we're like a little petri dish test case for the masks.
Should be interesting. Should be interesting.
Here's a pediatrician talking about this. You know the aspect you brought up.
Virtual school's tough for many children. That said, if you're going to go to school, wear a mask so we can not have the kind of numbers that are potentially continuing to evolve, as were discussed here earlier today.
Now, while he said that, he said, "I understand the challenge of face-to-face learning and all of this, but it's okay. You keep saying that, but what about the aspect of a lot of little kids like you always bring up?" Who need that facial recognition for a teacher as well.
Yeah, they're saying, on the other hand, you have child psychologists saying these little children are going to be so far behind as far as developmental issues go because they need to see facial expressions, you know? And they're not getting that. So, but you never hear that side of the story. And if you do, it's extremely downplayed. I understand. But all these kids, in Palm Beach County, they said they had 400 plus cases or 400 kids already quarantined because they were exposed. They all had masks on.
Yeah.
So did the mask work?
That's another good point, right?
No.
That's why I say this is a big experiment right now. We're the focal point of it. Everybody is looking at this.
Ah, jeez.
And especially Broward. I mean, now I think I understand why they were holding out, making going along with the mask mandate, why they're fighting it a little bit. They want to see what this judge is going to say today.
That's it. You're exactly right. And then they start, Wednesday in Broward?
I believe it is Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, that's the 18th, I think. So Interesting.
Well, what are the chances? I think they've already announced at least one game is coming next year again. The Major League Baseball does this Field of Dreams or some kind of specialty game every single year. This was a big, big hit.
It was a big hit because Hollywood was involved.
Well, that's true.
There's probably just one question to answer. Is this heaven? I don't think I heard you. Is this heaven? Yes, it is.
Okay, despite him.
No offense. I love Kevin Costner, but boy, could it have been more boring?
Yeah, he's.
It's like, come on, Kev, get a little excited, At least in Yellowstone, he raises his voice every now and then.
He's pretty laid back, That's how that goes. But they got a great game.
Anderson hits it in the back at the wall, and the White Sox win it.
They could not have asked for a bigger, more exciting ending, and they were able to shoot off the fireworks out of the corn maze. It was good stuff. It was good television.
You know what it is? You know what made it was the cornfield. I hate to tell you, it was like that was the best backdrop in the world. And then watching all the home run balls go into the cornfield, and then a player try to find it, I was like, "This is great."
It's great. It's
really
like old time baseball.
It was. It was cool to watch. Dina, did you watch it? Oh, sorry.
I think I might put it up on the blog with the home run at the end. It was pretty cool. I mean, the way the fireworks were coming up, and because they made the stadium, I guess it's called a stadium, the field dark, so you can have the fireworks come up over the corn and everything. It was a really cool shot. It was like cinematic the way the game ended.
It was picture perfect for them. It was a corn blast.
Yes.
It was a corn shot, huh?
Did Universal play a role in any of this? I'm just curious. They built the field originally, and Kevin Costner is their star. So did they play a role in this to make sure cinematically it looked good? I'm just saying. Because you guys always tell me how baseball screws everything up.
I was going to say.
It was really nice last night. So did Universal step in and have a hand in it?
Maybe, because, is it possible that baseball got something that right? I don't know. That's the question. It was great, though.
How many games did you say are going to be there next year, Bill?
I don't know, at least one. Are you a triskaidekaphobe? How did this whole thing get started?
I think it's religious, isn't it?
I think a lot of it is religious. We'll talk about Friday the 13th because that's happening here, too. Some headlines all next. The South Florida Morning Show. This is Jen. I'm Bill. Keep it here. Ooh, a lot happening in the news all week long. So what's coming up at 7 o'clock, Karen?
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court told 8 Indiana University students no. So there was a big debate over school vaccine mandates, and the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court now weighing in on the fight, refusing to block Indiana University's requirement that students must be vaccinated to attend classes this fall.
So Justice Amy Coney Barrett yesterday denied their challenge, and that's that.
So does it mean it wasn't even heard, right? Because it would have gone on for a long time.
Yeah.
They just denied it.
Well, it means that you got to be vaccinated to go to IU.
No, but I mean the court case.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't even get to be heard, really,
Yeah.
on grounds.
So that's kind of interesting. And then you've got, of course, here in Broward County, the school district, they're saying that 3 teachers and a teacher assistant died from COVID over the last 24 hours. And 440 Palm Beach County students quarantined in the 2 days for COVID. And more than 800 Florida doctors urging the governor to lift the COVID mask ban. So that more coming up.
But if 400 kids are being exposed, and we just had this conversation, Karen, and they had masks on, what's the mask doing? I'm just saying.
And they didn't get it at school. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen that that spin. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
See, they already got it in the classroom. No, they didn't. They came in with it.
Yes. Well, in St. Lucie County said they had like 600 and something cases, but most of them were before school started. So
Right.
these kids were already infected before they get there. So how many of the 400 in Palm Beach County are under the same guys?
All of them.
You know,
That'd
it's
be
like,
all of them.
Okay. And they were all, from what I had read, most of them were, or if not all, were asymptomatic.
I'm
So
not
they
really
tested them?
surprised by that many, by the way. I don't know why the 4. I know they're pumping this up to, and that's why, like you said, why the interim superintendent was on national news.
Right.
Because they got a story they can sink their teeth into. For hundreds of students already quarantined in death sentences state.
Yeah.
But I mean, did they realize how many students are in this school system? It's huge.
I forget how many hundreds of thousands of kids you're talking about overall. So,
I'm not
yeah.
that surprised. I mean, I actually think it's a kind of a not acceptable and not normal, but an understandable number.
Yeah, and as much as they say this Delta variant is contagious, they make it sound like you just walk by somebody who's contagious that
Right.
you're going to get it. So if that's the case, and if you're asymptomatic, if you have a shot, they said if you're vaccinated, the odds are you might not even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every day it seems that some other new information.
Well, the new information yesterday was kind of big. The 3rd shot approved. Well, for those with compromised immune systems. Here's the White House coronavirus coordinator.
That's what it's going to take to end this pandemic. More vaccinations, more Americans doing their part and rolling up their sleeve.
You're right, too. They surround Fauci with a lot more help.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this guy.
Yeah.
Until just recently he started showing up. By the way, Israel just announced 50 and up, 3rd shot. So,
I could see it. I mean,
so
I could see that coming. I'm not happy about it, but I could see that's coming. It seemed like they were painting the picture for that a long time ago.
Okay, the question is the 3rd one going to make you sick too?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know. And when before we have to get it. It's coming. And I was kind of surprised because now with the Supreme Court siding with the University of Indiana, does that mean any college can say everybody has to be vaccinated?
I think so. I was thinking the same thing when Karen had that in the news tease. Yeah, it's a precedent, isn't it? Well, can a precedent be not hearing the case?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, Amy, she rejected the plea.
Yeah.
Amy Coney Barrett was the one who said, nah, you guys don't have a leg to stand on, basically, because she would go by following the rule of the law, the letter of the law. University of Indiana is going to beat you kids, so we're not going to take this up. It's just that simple. You're going to lose, so therefore the university wins. So you're right, and that's a state-run college. That's not a private college. So now, does that give every other state the option, because of precedent? You can, like Florida State, Florida, saying, hey, you got to get a shot before you come in.
Yep. I have not heard a thing. Maybe that's my fault as a parent, but I haven't heard anything about UCF, and she's about to start like in a couple of weeks here. But I haven't heard anything. Maybe I haven't looked in the right places. But I bet you a lot of these schools, like you're saying, they're waiting for somebody to make a decision and a precedent to say, vaccinations required to get on campus. I could see it happening.
Well, the interesting thing is, you look at some of these. Okay, I speak from Ohio State because when I was there were 110,000 students. That's a lot of kids.
A ton.
So how do you know that everybody, even the ones that are like commuting, that live in Columbus or live on the outskirts of Columbus and they're going to school there, do they stop you from walking into a class unless you show them something? So here's your vaccine passport coming to light.
It is. It's a form of it, sure.
They're going to have to prove that they had the shot.
Right.
So they stop you from, or is it when you enroll? You have to prove that you have the shot. They won't even let you take a class. That's probably what's going to happen.
I think so. I think you're right.
And maybe,
well, they had to get tested coming back on campuses. I know that in Florida schools.
Did your daughter get a shot on campus last year?
No.
No?
When she was home.
Okay. So maybe they already know that, and maybe that's why you haven't heard. I don't know. I would assume, though, after this, you're going to hear a lot more colleges coming.
I think so.
Because the others were always private. It was like a Stanford or a Harvard or a Yale. Those are That's a high end, you're going to know somebody to get in or be really smart, right? So
Right.
they have the right to say, yeah, you can't come in. And you expect it from somebody like that, but not a very large public school like Indiana. Indiana's huge.
All the chips will start falling today. You're exactly right. Letters, emails will be going out throughout the weekend for schools across the country.
You're right. You're right. Oh, well.
As long as you survive today.
Yeah.
Are you a triskaidekaphobe? Are you afraid of Friday the 13th?
I'm not afraid of it. I'm not real crazy about it. And it's purely because of the hype that they've made about this stupid day.
A lot of hype.
And then you had the movies. Come on, that made matters even worse. But a lot of people, I guess, are afraid of Friday the 13th.
A ton. I don't know. It's still a big thing, I guess.
You always say it's like your favorite day. It's like a lucky day for you.
I've just always had good Friday the 13th. I don't look forward to it or anything.
In Italy, 13's a good luck number.
Right.
So, and I think they base it, from what I've always been told, Friday the 13th, and I could be totally wrong, at least in my world, it was always a religious thing because that's how many guests were at the Last Supper. But in Italy, they look at it as good luck because that's how many guests were at the Last Supper. So
it's all perspective.
It all depends on which side of the religious, realm you want to be on there. So it's like, okay, all right, so 13's lucky.
That's where that one came from. Where did breaking a mirror come from?
I haven't a clue.
The Romans.
Damn Romans.
You broke a mirror. It held a piece of your soul, and it's gone.
Oh, shattered.
Well, look what happened to them, so what do they know?
Wait a minute, if you got a black soul, does it matter?
What?
Then you want to lose a piece of it, then you get some good stuff back.
Black mirror. Black cat crossing your path. Black cats were associated with witchcraft.
Oh.
Knocking on wood. Trees housed various spirits, so you summon them.
Oh, I thought it would be, because you got rid of the termites inside if you knocked on it and then the wood was good.
Let me ask you this one, because you're a former smoker. Did you ever hear a thing about a white lighter being bad luck?
No.
Neither did I. Is this a thing?
I guess if you have it, sure.
White lighters are based on the 27 Club.
What the hell's the 20? Oh,
all those greats,
27,
Jimi Hendrix,
okay.
Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison died at the age of 27.
What the heck's a white lighter got to do with it?
According to superstition, they all had white lighters on them when they died.
Wait a minute. When did Janis Joplin die? Or when did they even have lighters back then? I mean, that were white?
It's not the Middle Ages, for God's sakes.
Well, no, I'm just trying to think. When did the disposable lighters come out?
No, they used to hey, you got a light? Yeah, let me rub these two sticks together. It was the late 60s. Of course they did. What do you mean?
Okay, just asking.
I don't know.
Just an update for you guys on the lighter question.
Yes, Jim.
Yes, Diener?
A German chemist named Johann Wolfgang invented the lighter in 1823.
Okay, but what about the white Bic lighters?
Yeah, were they disposable?
Disposable ones. That's what they're talking about. They were invented, by the way, in 1973. Hendrix and Joplin died when?
Well,
1970. So this might be fake news. Although I'm sure you could have a white little flip, ceramic lighter.
Yeah, or you had, the expensive, what's that? I should know.
Oh, yeah.
I can't
That's
think of what those lighters that are really expensive that never go out in the wind.
I
had one.
We got to look into the white lighter story.
To dispute your claim, Jen, I'm seeing that by the late 1920s, there were 4 main types of lighters in use. One of them being automatic lighters. I'm just saying.
Marble.
Go over there, you. Just go over there.
I'd never heard of the white lighter superstition. Is that a thing?
No.
Right.
Okay. I never had a white lighter. I always had colorful ones.
Yeah.
Bright pink. I always bought obnoxious ones so I could say that's mine. Don't
Sure.
you touch it. And
my
that's
mom used to do that too.
Yeah. So it's that way no one got a hold of yours.
And then I, used to try to hide it so I wouldn't get lung cancer. But
Jeez.
we got more headlines coming up next. This lawsuit against DeSantis' mask order is going to be a big deal today. But I feel the Dreams thing was really cool.
That was great.
More on that coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. This is Jen. I'm Bill. Keep it here.